All right. I don't know, Trina. It may say we are live.
I
Does it
think
say
we
it?
are.
I think we are. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Missed you. So good to see everyone. It is a happy feet day. So we thank you for tuning in and turning on. There you go, Trina.
Yeah.
So we just speak favor over everybody.
Mhm.
Bosto, baby.
Mhm.
And happy birthday, anniversary. And we are prospering. So, Miss Trina, how are you doing? It's Tuesday. So good
I'm
to see you.
great. How are you, Wayne?
Well, I have to say, I'm exceptionally and I am uniquely positioned.
Yes, you are.
You can get a whole different kind of attitude here, but I just saw, the compass, and it's multi-pointed directions. There you go. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I must agree.
So, how was your week?
Busy. Yeah.
Busy?
Yeah.
Good
Working
place.
a lot and doing a lot of sessions and have more coming this afternoon. It's just fun. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. How are you finding the energies?
Energies have been a little heavy for me, a little tiring, but also very enlightening, reflective, it seems.
Mm,
Yeah.
reflection time is important.
Yeah.
I think it
Doing
is.
some serious going inside work right now, and
Oh,
that's
the gift
beautiful.
is working, go
Yeah,
inside for truth.
that's true. This
Yeah.
is true.
So welcome everybody in the chat room. How are y'all? So good to see ya. Man, there's a whole bunch of people in here. I
Much love.
mean, Bill, Project Skyfall, Deborah, genetically modified. I love that. Elderberry, Donna D, and Jules, 11111. Go and K-Town, Cosmic Gypsy. I like that.
I like that too.
That's a
Cosmic
cool
Gypsy.
handle.
Yeah,
K-Town, Cosmic Gypsy. you
love it.
know so I'm hearing, what is the Brian Hyland, and she was a gypsy woman all through the night. Anyway, so
I hear
that's a great
Stevie
song,
Nicks.
by the way. Y'all go check it. It was one of those one-hit wonders. Actually, no,
Mhm.
Brian Hyland actually had a number of hit songs, so I have to retract that. So
Wow.
he wrote a couple of hits for let's see, Lindsay, what was the guy's name? Silverbird, won't you fly me away? Then
Oh
he had,
wow.
did a number of songs. So anyway, I
Hmm.
digress. It's karaoke night.
Karaoke's fun.
Yeah, well, it's only noon here, but it's night somewhere. So,
Yeah.
everyone just get the microphone and come on up to the stage. And,
Mhm.
it says make a joyful noise. So, what else is happening in your world, my dear?
Just watching the world go a little bit insane, and it's kind of funny because you're just seeing so much of um, people are waking up and looking at things from different perspectives. Things are shifting. They keep
They are.
trying to stir up the energies and divide people against each other. But I think a lot of people are starting to see through that facade now, which is beautiful.
Yeah, and that's kind of the theme that, you and I were talking before we went live that,
Mhm.
um, there is a certain perverted magic that's taking place. And what I mean by that is that there are so many other channels and other outlets that are regurgitating the headlines, and they're all bad.
Mhm.
But then they want to sprinkle in, but don't you worry, the savior's going to take care of you, or the light, or whatever. And that's actually inverted magic. You can't come out with negative energy that invokes, and it is designed to trigger a fear response, and then come back and leave it. But you know what? Hallelujah, and it's going to be fine. No,
No,
that's not how you do that.
no.
So anyway, it's,
That's
just make one person happy today.
yeah, that's the essence of the truth of it though, Wayne, is this was the whole trap was, think that something else is going to correct things for us when that's not how it's going to work. It's going to come through us, or it's not going to come at all.
you know Lynn and I are really busy, and we got things, and there's changes coming forth, but it was real interesting. Over the weekend, I had this conversation that, well, you know everything is being projected as the apocalypse. I mean, everywhere you turn, it's, and I told the person, I said, here's the problem. And they were arguing that this was prophecy. It was prophetic. It was going, we're the time and the generation. And I said, I disagree. I said, we're the generation that got duped. I said, you know, I said, each generation propagates this nonsense to the next. And now, because we, human beings, not God, not Jesus, not Satan, not the devil, have made situations here on planet Earth untenable. And now we want to blame it on some imaginary who you can't see force.
Correct.
And you are correct. And you know, it's interesting because the Jesus character said it. He said, there's no God coming. There's no army. The truth is in here. He said the kingdom of God is in you, not there.
Straight up. And nobody gets that.
No one gets it.
And you miss that. That is the ultimate missing the mark.
Yeah.
You're not getting it. You that is the biggest, that's the whole, the Jesus trap. That's what that is. And it's any religion or
it's anyone that's propagating this. It's a death cult. It really is.
Anything you're giving your power away to, thinking that it's going to fix something for you, is not true.
It's not. I told this individual, I said, stop worshiping death. Well, he got very offended. He said, how dare you? He says, I represent life. I said, no, you don't. And he got really offended. He really did. You know, and he was trying to walk in love. But as I told him, I said, you're twisted. Yeah. I said, you know, and then I tried to explain to him that I said, listen, if we follow your train of thought, like last week it was brought out on one of the shows I did, that if you're saying that man is not responsible for the evil, that it's ultimately caused by an unseen force or deity personality, I said, then what you're saying is that mankind is a slave, mankind is of a lower intelligence, and therefore on a lower spiritual level. And I said, because we have no responsibility, this is being done by a force greater than us. And he stopped.
And I see it. I see that to be true, especially for children.
Well, it's for adults. We, as a species, Trina, we don't accept any responsibility.
Well, that's, I mean, the thing is, these things can't enter into you until you match frequency.
I mean, every situation we have today in the world, everything that's being set up, this is, and if you're saying that this isn't caused by man, then we are truly a lower created species, spiritually, soulfully, and intelligently. We're what you would call in the day my growing up, we are a retarded species. We can't learn beyond a certain ceiling.
I think that was done on purpose. Yeah,
I think you're right. I really do.
I think that we probably had a lot more intelligence in the ancient days. I really do. I've tapped into that consciousness, and it does not feel like this consciousness.
Well, it's very recent. I mean, you think, you know, it's NASA lost the technology that got us to the moon. and I'm going, what? And it's the truth. You know, the engineers today do not understand that intelligence, but they're supposed to be smarter. They're not. They rely more on the machine. Gone are the days when you would see your engineers with a slide rule.
Right.
Doing the advanced calculus.
That's what I mean. They're dumbing us down again.
Well, wow. Now that this begins to trigger, because all of us, we no longer, when I was growing up, I particularly remember 5th grade, 6th grade, because the Britannica Encyclopedia, if you had one of those, you had a distinct advantage over your classmates.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. And I did. And, you know, I made straight A's, and there was a reason for that, because I was one of those kids that, for me, reading the Encyclopedia Britannica was, well, to me, it was playtime. But today, my point is, we rely on a machine to tell us what truth is. We rely on a machine to tell us what reality is. We rely on a machine to tell us what our past is.
Yep. No organic connection.
It's like the rats said, forget the Jesus, get me out of the trap.
Right.
It's like, all right, fine. I don't want you. I don't want your cheese, man.
Funny you just said that instead
What's that, huh?
The word rats. The child prophet. That was one of the things that she said. 5 rats will find their way through the maze, and they will open the doors that humans were too big to enter through. And they shall open the gates. And if you turn around the word rats, it's stars, star seeds. Yeah.
Rats.
They're here. Yeah.
Rats.
You got it.
So I went out and hit my first cemetery. It was really interesting. Yeah. Let me just tell you what I experienced. If those graves are actually the home of where the spirits are, the spirits ain't staying in there. Because apparently they do walk, that what was it, the song from Edgar Winter, they only come out at night,
right?
And Hall & Oates, boom boom boom, they only come out at night.
Yes.
You're going, there's some truth to that. And it was the full moon too. I mean, the moon was freaking bright. It was so bright I couldn't, using my infrared binoculars, night vision, it's like, oh man. So anyway, they and it kind of goes back to this. So Trina, I want to get your perspective on this. So if angels are real and angels interact with humans, if there is a antithesis to an angel, and if they interact with humans, if in fact poltergeists, i.e. ghosts, spirits, apparitions, what other word can I use on this one, if they exist. So I'm writing all my notes, and Lynn is my my backdrop on this. And I put down my pad and paper, and I looked at her and I said, sweetheart, this thing that we've been told that there is a veil, there's a separation between what we call the living and the dead, I said is a lie. I said, if you have one spirit that can transcend one dimension, one plane, one reality, and interact with another, then that tells me there is no veil. Because go ahead, hon.
That would totally make sense if it and I know it's true, multidimensional beings. There would be no veil.
Well, wouldn't that be us if people like people report when a grandparent dies, that particularly if there's a grandbaby, they'll typically see the grandparents.
Yes.
Well, what are the grandparents on a cruise? I mean, are they cruising? I mean, I told Lynn, I said, so is there like someone at this box office that you come up and you're saying, oh, Mr. Johns, I see your passing was pretty uneventful. Yeah. What can we do for you? I'd like 2 tickets to the other side. Destination is our grandchild. Oh, sure. I believe that there is, in fact, a form of currency on the other side. And so Mr. Johns and Mrs. Johns, they get a ticket to come over here and to once again see their grandchild, because this is where we see a lot of this. And then they seem to be able to pass on.
Yeah. I think there's certain ways that they have access to children because children are still connected. So I think children may be portals, walking portals.
And maybe it's what Patrick Swayze did in Ghost, Sam. Maybe Sam was right. Yes,
I think there's a lot of truth to that. I know that there is, Wayne. You're right.
And I was thinking about this group, with the character Whoopi Goldberg played, that, so many of us are empaths, intuitives, that I think that it's far more crowded. I think we've been taught by doctrine, to believe that there is this veil, that there's this this thing you can't pierce. I don't think it's that way at all.
I don't either.
So I went out Saturday night
too much.
and my, with my mind now prepared, because it is, Trina, it's all about mindset. Really.
Yes.
Yes.
You can only see that which you can perceive.
Yes.
So if
And
if your brain can't comprehend it, your vision won't allow you to see it.
bingo, because your brain's going to block it out, even if it's right there in front of you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. You're going,
Spot
hey,
on.
can you see me? And you're going to walk right on by. Yeah.
Correct. You don't see it.
Yeah. Just
But
walk on by.
But I see it.
It's like, damn, they didn't see us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it brings up this whole thing that, it's for myself.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about the number 29.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping a daily journal. And I see that number between 5 to 9 times a day. Last night, before I went to bed, I was watching something and I mentally said, all right, I want to validate something. So I want to see the number 29 before we turn in for the night. It took about a minute and a half. A commercial came on, and there in the license plate of the commercial of the Hyundai car was a California license plate that ended in 29.
Yes.
Lynn looked over at me. She said, I've had enough.
Right.
Turn it off,
But see, you can control what you see. I think that's a big secret of the universe that nobody understands this. I mean, people understand the whole, envision your, what you want, stuff like that. But I don't think they believe that that's real. This is real. We just forgot how to utilize it. And we don't understand we're producing the reality of what they tell us on the television. So the whole
and there you go. You just said
it.
Tell the vision.
Yes. Yeah. Tell the vision.
They are telling the vision. It sucks.
Yeah, and we're creating their.
We are. That's just it. Yeah. We are.
I'm like, that's just crap. But we got to do our own vision, and if we can see our own vision, then it will affect the vision of the planet, because it is literally, this is a battle over consciousness, and consciousness is directly manifesting through the eyes.
Yes.
What you see. So it's really
the
important.
Eyes are the windows to the soul.
Yes. So it's super important what we look at. It's super important what we allow the sounds to come into our ears, because sound is vibration and it affects your vibration. Yeah. So if you're listening to doom and gloom all day, you're going to be a wreck.
Yeah, I agree. Didn't the Eagles do that song, Your Lion Eyes?
Yes. Yeah. You can't hide those lion eyes.
You can't hide those lion. I love that. There we go, folks. We all have a good time. It's interesting. Yeah. So we were talking about that portal. It's we have our
hi.
Hey, how are you doing? All right. They have a suggestion.
Wonderful.
What is it? Let's see. Well, now you go quiet. So this thing out in the open is really interesting, how it picks up where there's no electronics, no interference, no nothing. Yeah. Wow. When they say and the words are interesting, because it's like when you walk in and that you hear hello, you're going, what? How? Yeah. So anyway, boy. So a boy. Well, what about a boy? It's so cool, folks. If you can see it,
really
can you see that, Trina?
It's amazing, Wayne. I love that device. It's my favorite.
It is a great device, and I'm trying to let everyone see without getting the reflection into it.
I think you're doing pretty good.
Please, what were you having to say? Does that say hole?
Yeah, hole.
Interesting. So a door, a hole.
Portals, remember? The
portals, yeah,
portal.
yeah.
The grave is a portal.
Yeah.
How? It said how. Okay.
And iron. Iron is an element.
Iron is what controls our blood. That's
Wow.
very important there. They're telling us how it's working and operating through the elemental kingdoms. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Couch.
So it talks about
71 years.
I get these sometimes talking,
Jack.
Jack. Hello, Jack.
Vowel.
Well, if you're here, Jack, it's really getting active.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we'll continue on this. Well, this is, we will do a group paranormal. I'm convinced of it now that the restrictions are coming off, and now we're finding out that we may be able to actually meet, one-on-one without, the barriers. But it's very interesting. It was all on a theme, a door,
a hole, a
hole,
boy,
a boy.
yeah.
Iron.
Yes.
Iron is really interesting.
Yes.
I'm just trying to see what's going on in the chat room.
Iron
How are all
is
y'all in the chat room? Good to see
Hi,
you. Thank you for hitting the like button.
Much love.
What a beautiful looking group, Trina. I mean,
Yes.
what a beautiful looking. It's a female voice. It is a female voice. However, if you go over and allow them to do the alphabet, which is really, I don't like that one because it's picking up so much. That isn't a male voice. So yeah.
Interesting.
It is. So
Wow.
Trina,
the letters are male, but the words are female.
The words are female.
Wow, that's interesting. That's powerful information right there. You just dropped, Wayne.
It's like, okay, this duality thing, you can't separate it. You go on that side,
can't.
It's like,
you cannot. When you understand it, how it works, you understand your world. So it's very important to comprehend it. It's important information. Yeah, duality is controlling all of this.
All of this. So Jenny, I wrote you an email, you rascal. And hey, Mary Wins, how are you doing? There's so many good people in here. Everyone, Scotty boy. So anyway, Trina, starting on, and I want to get the date. Yeah. So starting August 11th, and how you see in YouTube on your page, they'll make a recommendation on videos and what have you. So one day, and I don't know why I was drawn to this, but there was a woman who she is as gifted as all the rest of our tarot readers here. That's why I love them. They, and come to find out, I think all of us got the gift if you let the cards talk to you.
Yes.
So my theology taught me that in the mouth of two or more witnesses, let everything be established.
Yes.
Okay. So, if you're wanting to find out if, kind of like, putting out a fleece, is this the right way I should go? And, it's what we've done as human nature. So I'm watching this, and it was for Geminis, and it was a general reading for Geminis. But as I'm watching this woman, she's talking in between as she's laying out the cards, and she's talking about specific incidences that happen in my life. I mean, when someone says a lawsuit, someone says, and they start feeding off of that, and you're going, okay. So, I hit the like button.
Like, this isn't so general.
Yeah, it was. Well, it felt very private, to be candid with you.
Like, this is feeling a little personal right now.
Yeah, it's like, where's the camera? Come on,
right?
So I go about and I come back in my office, and then there's a recommendation of another video, another tarot card reader for Geminis. And I'm going, what? Now, this was specifically for the week of the 15th through, I think, the 22nd. Anyway, long story short, after I hit the 8th video. 8.
Yep.
There was, in every one of these readings, the same cards were coming up. Same cards. Ace of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, the Fortune card, the Death card, the Tower card, all of it relating.
Me too.
Yeah. And then, it had the 8 of Wands, and so many of these cards were repeating themselves with other tarot card readers.
Yep.
So now I'm getting curious. I'm going, all right, 8. Next week, by the way, we're going to have, let me get the note here because I want to make sure. Natasha, she is the birthday gift. Very talented woman. Oh, I think it's going to be so much fun. And if y'all are wanting to, maybe she'll bring the cards out. But I'm watching her, and she's getting into some stuff that I'm going, no. This is. I'm telling Lynn, I'm hollering down the hall. I said, Lynn, you have to come see this. And of course, she's upstairs up in her office, and she says, why?
Right. Why?
Why? And so I'm trying to tell her why. And so I'm going on, and I said, all right, never mind. I said, maybe it's just an 8-time coincidence, right? So yesterday I cut it off. I just had I cut it off because the 15th was yesterday, and it ended up being 15 different tarot card readers, 15 different ones coming up with a commonality of, particularly there were about 11 cards that were showing up every time. And what was really freaky was the way that they were coming out in succession.
That's so crazy, Wayne, because I'm seeing something so similar happening, and it's ironic that we kind of identified it at the same time.
Yeah, is that weird?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, we're super connected that way. It seems like we're looking at the same thing, and we don't know we're even looking at it. And then it's like all of a sudden I'm like, I saw the same thing. And I was looking at it again, like right now. Seriously. I always like. I was listening to another one.
Look at that.
Damn.
Yeah, I would just literally was listening to another one, and the same thing. I was drawn to it because the card keeps coming up for me over and over and over and over again, is the Strength card. It's just keeps coming up over and over and over again. And then it's like there's transition, there's a death happening. I ended a relationship. I'm like, it's just amazing though. And then it keeps talking about new things coming, new opportunities, lots of prosperity coming in, lots of financial gain, like all this stuff. It's like, so it's really ironic. And then you notice the same thing. And I've been going to multiple channels, and I keep seeing, like you said, the bulk
it's like,
cards
the Temperance card was the number one card.
Temperance
every time.
Every one of mine.
Well, Temperance is, and I think those of you who read tarot know the Temperance card is a prosperity card. Yes. And then you have the Ace of Cups, and then you have the King of Cups, the Queen. And I'm just going, okay, all right. The Tower card, which was real interesting because the one and Natasha, she got it. She said, someone is, and she said, this had to happen. What happened was, and she was describing this, and I'm going, okay. So they're either reading my mind or, there's something to this.
I do think there's something to it. And I wonder, I wonder if a lot of Geminis are going through.
See, there's 1229, by the way, folks. Just look down.
It is. Of course.
2929, 1229.
And I just talked about the collective resonance of all you Geminis.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling we might be onto something with this. So that's kind of interesting to look at it in a broader spectrum, to know that when you're looking at these readings and you're seeing all these synchronicities within a certain sign, and then you can see the same thing, like it's happening for you in Gemini. Well, I noticed it's happening for me in Aries. So
which is an air sign, which would
Aries
be
fire.
Yeah, a fire. Excuse me.
Oh, fire. Yeah. Fire.
Yeah. My
triple
bad.
Fire. God.
I'd be the air sign.
Yes, I'm triple fire, and air and fire. Wow, they get along good together.
And speaking about us Geminis as well, we are moving in, just the sign itself is moving into what, so Scotty Boy, so chance cards aren't the same. What that means. But it's very odd to see what is coming forth. So anyway, you Geminis, we's in a really good place. So, and you're with Aries, and I don't know what
we're in a transition moment, letting go of things that did not serve us, and we're moving into new and better things, and abundance and prosperity coming across the board. But right now we're in the in between, where we're still, some of us are still letting go of things, some of us are still in the middle of it, but it's a letting go process right now, and clearing the slate to bring in the new energies, the new love, the new this, the new finances, all the new stuff. So that seems
Hi, Brandon. He says, I've been seeing specific synchronicities with numbers too. It's not 29, but 33. That's significant. That's a master number.
That's my number. I get it every day. Every day.
He says, been seeing it everywhere for the past year. Scorpio here. So there you go.
You know what else too? I saw something interesting. 5-5 has been showing up for me since Brian passed.
Well, that's change. When you see 5-5, I know that. I can tell you it's
Guess
gone for me
yesterday.
It's like, okay, well, that and your life is resembling that. It is actually displaying that.
Yes, and when he left, it changed my world too. That was for real. So, but it's really weird. I was looking at a white paper the other day, and you know what was interesting? You know what the pain blocker code is through our bioorganic code? 55515.
55515. It's interesting.
55515, they say, is the neurological code that blocks pain. I would like to do some research on that, because I know something's very important with that. 55515.
And it's really interesting.
See if it resonates with you, but it's supposedly how we code our brain to block pain.
So pilots, particularly fighter pilots, there is a term about being in 5x5 You're coming in 5x5x5. It's a directional.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Ain't it though?
Yeah, that's
all sorts of weird stuff in here. Very interesting. So pain blocker, you have 55515.
Yep. 55515. So I was like, I'm gonna research that. Make sure you muscle test your body. Make sure that this is a good code for you. Do your research. Don't dive in without investigating. Always check.
Yeah, find your own truth. That's the way I look at it.
Yes, check yourself. Like I said, I just got this information. I haven't had time to do all my testing on it yet, but for whatever reason, it seems like it could be very powerful for many people who need assistance with chronic pain. So,
and there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Was reading in the New England Journal of Medicine. There's something really going on with our youth. We're now in another, in fact, back in 1989, I worked with Billy Joel and the Kudo Foundation, and Kudo was KUTOs, and that was kids under 21. It was a suicide prevention organization.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's one of those things that it's not talked about because it's, I don't know if it's taboo as much as just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're seeing, as a result of the lockdown and the shift that has impacted the youth, not the adults so much, but it's the youth, that today doctors are reporting that between the ages of 22 to 29, I believe is said specifically in there, that the rate of suicide, the rate of, as one doctor said, irrational levels of paranoia, anger. This article talked that the anger is off the charts. And they're trying to say, well, is this the result of when you put a population into isolation? We've never done that before.
Yeah, it causes psychosis. That's totally
yeah.
And then, that's interesting that this code just came up. I wonder if this is a way to help the collective deal with the pain and the trauma of the lockdowns and the isolation. I wonder if this is a way to help these kids manage this pain.
I don't know.
Because this is,
Shannon, by the way, just wanted to break in. She says, I focus intent on the area that was hurting and repeated 55515 in my head, and the pain in that area went away. And it
oh,
has
right
to be
on.
multiple times a day as the result. It did not last long for me, but you know what, dear Shannon, it's obviously working. And I think if you
Yes.
continue to exercise that,
Yes.
now that's
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
interesting.
beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you, Shannon. That's wonderful. Wow.
Five,
And
five,
I know that
five.
we somehow help these kids with this pain. They are in pain.
They are in pain. They
Yes, they
really
are.
are. They
And they
say
don't
that
have
there's a
any
lack of
hope.
joy,
They don't have any hope.
and
They
that's
have
that.
no
That's what I
hope.
think was really the point.
It
That's what
is.
they're demonstrating, this
They
despair.
have no, they've expressed it to me. I'm around those group
Yes,
ages.
you are. You do. That's right. Your
Was,
daughter. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm around a lot of them. I'm around a bunch of them who just got out of the military. There's a lot going on with these kids. A
Yeah.
lot. It breaks my heart.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
I've been asked to speak to a group dealing with this. That, well, you seem to have come through a time, right there, 1970, 71, 72, on your own, on the street. And as the woman was asking me, because she said, I think it's a story and it's relating to what you said, they're looking for hope.
Yes. It's the
How
bottom
did you
line.
do it? I think she said, they want to know, how did you do it?
We created it in our mind.
See, it's the mindset.
Yes, it absolutely is. And this whole matrix right now is doing everything it can to put us into fear, to put us into pain. A lot of complications are happening with physical bodies after this whole event, and there's a lot of pain, a lot of neurological pain. If you look at the statistics right now for the neurological conditions of children in that same age group, not children, young adults, 20 to 29, it's off the charts. There's never been anything like this with tics, seizures, migraines. All these neurological issues are surfacing now. So yes, there's massive pain happening in the whole system. So if we can negate pain, we don't want to block all of the pain, though. That's important too, because pain is your body's way to tell you when something's wrong. So work on a specific area. Don't block the whole system. That may harm you. But we also need to find out, how can we program hope?
Yeah.
How can
Shannon
we
said, to
control
follow up, she said, I have used this method quite a bit, and those were my results over time. It came from the CIA doing experiments in the
Yes.
70s. Does work, just have to hash it out for each individual.
Wow, thank you, Shannon.
55515. All
I
right,
saw
so
that same research. It was a CIA white paper. Yep, that's what I was looking at. I was like, this is profound information, because I do know these codes do things, because
okay,
I've
that's
been
my
given
point.
them.
What are the other codes?
There's multiple, and I've been given multiples, and I don't even know what they are, and I won't drop them until I understand what they do.
Now, did the paper mention that there were other codes that they were experimenting, or it's just that this one
I
specifically?
think it was primarily just focusing on that,
Okay.
but I know that there are multiple codes. Codes match frequency, Wayne. So we can find the codes probably through the frequencies. It's all doable. It's just, this is important.
And it's so true, particularly if you come from a background that where you've had to fight through, the harsh words spoken to you, people, just in an abuse situation where it causes you to have, negative feelings about yourself. And a lot of people do. I hear people cussing themselves all the time. And I'm going, do you know you just cursed yourself? But anyway,
Right.
going, really?
You're like, really? That's not good for you.
You
really should
you
stop
shouldn't
that
be
behavior.
doing that. It's not
It's
good.
not gonna serve you well at all.
It's not doing it at all.
Yeah,
And
it's not. No.
this is amazing to me, that if you can find that code, because the mindset changes when you, and it's really interesting because it's a battle of the two selves. You have this one who's reigned in a hierarchy position, who's really been the one who has brought where you are. Then you have this other one who's trying to say, yeah, but it's my time now.
Why? You know what I
And
just saw when you were saying that way? And I saw the 555. It's three fives. Three fives equals 15. And then it's 1 5, which is 15. It's 15, 15, but it's inverted as a trinity and then a wholeness, like the male and the female. The father is the 555, and then the feminine is the 15. I don't know. There's something to this. That must be how we build it. The codes must build something like that. That's interesting.
Well,
555.
isn't the whole human genome and now the mitochondrial DNA, isn't it all in code?
Binary code, yes. Yes. Yes.
You know, at times you get these moments of this quiet epiphany of clarity, and you're going, wait a minute.
I'm a bioorganic robot.
This is, you know, and here's what I was thinking. I said, this shit ain't real.
Right.
You know, and you become more aware of that it's just like, all right. I mean, because I have been using Pam's book. I still love this book, Grout's book, you know, E Square, and the project It Works. I am happy to say, folks, I had a list of 10 things. 5 of those have come to materialized.
Wow.
Literally materialized.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah. Shannon said, I was in Cheyenne Mountain Canyon Park last week and touched an ancient tree on the trail. Got some really cool downloads and healing. I bet you did.
Oh, that's
I bet
beautiful.
you did. The trees are spirits, man. I mean,
You know, it's so wonderful too when humans do that and they get those downloads. They're bringing that consciousness out of nature back into the consciousness of the human structure. So it's reconnecting us as two individual species on a collective. It's a beautiful thing what she just did. So
it's
thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you.
You know, it's interesting. I just want to say as well, you know, I was telling Lynn this last night. I said, you know, we feel detached from the current flow of the world today. You know, it's all funneling into one particular area, and you know, we're aware of it. But as I told her, I said the strangeness is that, and it seeped in. You know, it was very subtle, but there's a disconnect. We see the stories. We used to be involved very politically. We hung out. The list, I can't even disclose it, but
Right.
and it's amazing as we're seeing this transformation take place that we're becoming further and further detached. I don't know, mentally is not the right word. I would say maybe
Spiritually.
thank you. It's probably more on the spiritual concept.
I think that that's part of the new technology, the
Mhm.
medicines.
Mhm.
They're specifically targeted at that gene, at the M whatever gene. That's literally, yes, and it's being shut off. And that way, because that's how they're changing the radio station.
Mhm.
That's how they're changing your frequency dial. So when they can change the frequency dial, you can't tune into that channel anymore. You're blocked. You've been cut off. So
And
this
speaking
is what I
about
see.
that frequency,
Yeah,
a lot of the equipment that I've been buying is based on frequency.
all of it.
I'm trying to get the folks over at Ghost Hunters Incorporated to come on, and because they have some of the coolest equipment. But it's interesting because it's dealing with frequency.
Absolutely. Everything is based on particles
Everything.
vibrating at a specific rate of vibration. That's how everything is holding its form. It's because it's in agreement with its vibratory rate.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of us hold a different frequency. That's the uniqueness of you. Nobody holds your frequency. Nobody holds your vibration. It's unique to you. And that's a powerful, beautiful thing.
It is. It is. And I'm just reading on some of the comments in here. There is a change. I mean, it's maybe, as we've talked about, you know, this is the bifurcation of, you know, humanity, because
It is, Wayne, but you know, people don't understand. This is going to take at least 70 years.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I don't think it's going to be overnight. I think,
No,
you
I've
know,
never
it's
been shown that it would be fast. And I was always shown over and over again, you won't know when it happens because it will be such a gradual thing. You won't even know. You won't know when it actually pops into its two separate timelines. We won't even know it. And it could have already happened, but it may not have happened
well,
because we
Patricia,
won't know.
she's a hippie. She's actually attended Woodstock.
Uh-huh.
She wrote me in an email recently, and she said, she said, I want to point this out. And she said, I wish all of your audience and people who listen and others, she said, we planted the seeds back in 1969. She said, we
You
did the
did.
dances. We
And I
did.
was born in 1970. I came into this
You were
planet.
the result
And
of
I
that.
swear you guys anchored that joy in my frequency. You gave me
She
that
pointed
gift.
that out. She said, we held, and she said, as I look back then, and I was telling her, you're right, because we used to get high on peyote and mescaline and out there in West Texas. And we would do the fire dance,
Yeah,
where we all held hands. But as she was pointing out, those are rituals. Those are
absolutely.
invocations. Yeah.
Absolutely. The
So
most
she said,
powerful.
we could thank the hippies for, she said, she said, we did a lot of harm, but she said, we also, though, we sowed these seeds. And she said, her evidence says, she says, look at the music. We
That's
have
what I mean.
music that came from that time. It's still fresh.
I think it's one of the most beautiful gifts this planet has received in thousands of years is that movement of love and peace and unity. And so many of these kids are trying to recreate it. And it's so funny. They
And they're
don't
missing
understand
it.
what's wrong
Yeah.
because they're using technology music instead of
Thank
real
you.
music. And that's the block.
Wow.
And they don't
Trina, when you
understand
said
it.
that you took the words, that's why I know the connection is here.
Totally. Yeah.
We were not bound by this microwave soup.
No.
I mean, when we went out into the deserts and the open places, we were really out in the open places.
Yes.
There was no
And they're
interference.
doing it. They're going out in the open places, but they're being surrounded with all the speakers and the technology and the Wi-Fi and everybody's cell phones and all this stuff. And it's and that's what it's like. These kids they know what they're supposed to be doing, but they don't understand what's stopping them. It's the technology. If they would go out and just go back to just a basic Plano amplifier, no big screens with all the LEDs and all those lights programming the mind, all the subliminal shit they're getting hit with. They don't see that part of it, but
We just had a tom-tom. That's all we had. And, you just do the beat. I know Grandpa Brian does when, that the group was supposed to get together. We'll make this thing happen. But I think there was a drum ceremony that, if I remember right, Brian, I think that's Grandpa, that's what they were going to do. And it's powerful. If you get people into the right mindset, as they join into that, the spirits will come in and they'll dance with you. They'll.
Yes. But it also creates a heart resonance. The hearts start to beat as one beat. When you're all together, dancing together and hearing the same beat of a drum, it's the symbol of our heart beating as one. That's what that whole ceremony is based on, is the beating of the drum is a representation of our hearts beating as one. So one dominant person can hold that rhythm, and that everybody in a matter of time is moving with that same beat, that same rhythm. And we go into what's called resonance. And then we're in a
It's interesting. I'm having a flashback because, I was really into a lot of this. It was a way to, it was a healing for me. I mean, and the thing that I remember, and it could have been the mescaline, but I know it wasn't, because then there were only like 8 of us that were doing this. But when we got into at a certain intensity, there were beings in the smoke. They were manifesting themselves above us. I mean, and I can still see it today. I mean,
that's so awesome.
Yeah. Wow. Woo. All right, Steiger, settle down. But
the arms start.
I mean, and I was back there. It was freaking. I was right back there. I'm barefooted, and I could feel the desert sand. Yeah, it was.
And that's such a beautiful way to have a natural mescaline trip right there, because you just grab that frequency.
Oh
Boom,
yeah,
it's yours,
yeah.
baby. You own that. That's yours. You earned it. It's yours.
They'll never take it away. I mean, I was there, and
Right.
it, you know, and as I look about this, you know, now I understand what we were doing is we literally opened up a portal.
Yes, with resonance field.
Yeah. And the spirits that were attracted to that resonance, they were the ones that were communing with us. And that's
Yes.
what we called it, communing.
Yes, because they match in vibration.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they could enter the space.
Yeah. It's true.
And
Yeah.
the only way that we can see each other is when we match in vibration. Then we can communicate. Then we can see each other. Then we can get through the veil. All it is a shift perception, just like you have seen. Yes.
I'm reliving that moment.
That's so awesome, Wade. I'm
yeah.
jealous.
And so just to let everyone know how we would end these, we called them fire dances. That's what we knew them as. But there was a river that, you know, was only about 50 yards away, and we would go and then cleanse ourselves into the water of the river. And it was an immersion type of, you know, because you think about it now as I'm sitting here, I'm going, holy crap, Batman, because what we were doing, I now get it. We were dancing with the fire elements. We had the air, we had the earth, and then we bathed ourselves and cleansed ourselves.
Baptism is a spiritual baptism. It's a fire baptism. Water is the fire.
The water.
Of the spiritual. So you're using fire, 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 fire with all the elements participating in that beautiful baptismal energy of igniting the fires, the spiritual fires of cleansing, healing, and purifying that which is you.
We did. I'm sitting here going, damn, Steiger, you were pretty ignorant back then. But then I'm thinking, well, so yeah, dude, but I was pretty much advanced too. I mean, you know, how many, you know, 17-year-olds are doing fire dances in the middle of, you know, West Texas, you know? Yeah.
I love it. That's, yeah. Like I said, those indoctrinations you got when you were young and through the religious practices.
That's far out.
They're some of your greatest gifts, Wayne.
You know, it's like I said, we just, to be candid with you, my motivation for primarily was to get laid. But you know what I'm just being honest with you. But what I ended up getting was, you know, I didn't get laid, but I really got laid out, you know?
Yes. On the spiritual table.
Yes.
Got some surgery. Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm not the first old fool that ever, young fool back then, you know, that would actually have done that. But it's amazing. It's how that path leads you there. And then the spirits are going, wow, that dude's a lot to do. I mean, you know, because you're having, it's like, we're trying to get you in a spot here, you know?
Right. And you are not cooperating very easily. You just want to do your own thing all the time. Would you settle down? Yeah.
It's like, damn, he's tiring, man.
Hey, they knew we were handfuls before they sent us.
They really did. And look what they produced. I mean, today we're the gift of those who preceded us. After we're gone, those that will pick up on this frequency later. I mean, that's what the gift is, Trina.
Yes, it is. It is. It's consciousness. Yes. Yeah. And what can you perceive?
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know if you're hearing that, but I'm hearing almost like a boom, 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 boom. It's almost like a Morse code in my headset here.
Interesting.
It's like, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, yeah, come on, I'm not the only one. I mean,
I love it.
I mean, I feel like Arlo Guthrie, bunch of straights around here, man. Woo, you know.
It's awesome. Just awesome. Yeah.
Someone wrote me and said, you know, you don't act your age. And I'm going, well, what age is that supposed to be?
Right. Why would I do that?
They didn't give me the manual that, you know, well, you turn at this age. This is how you're supposed to. I never got that manual. Did you?
No, and I
No.
wouldn't read it if I did get it. I'd probably throw it in the trash.
It's like, because you're
No.
reading someone else's program, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
exactly what it would be to me. I'd be like, that's just yours, not mine. I don't need
it's
that.
like, the hell you say. Not going to do it. Not buying that.
Yeah,
Jeez.
no need for that. No.
One of our grandkids told me, he says, "You're the what did she say? You're the youngest, oldest hippie I've ever met."
Yeah, that's a great compliment from a
it's like,
child.
thank you very much.
Absolutely, thank you very much.
That's what she said. She says, he doesn't act like he's old. And I said, there we go.
It's so funny too. My daughter, she brings all these kids around, and all of them are really drawn to me, super drawn to me. And it's the spiritual thing. And they can feel it, they sense it, they come into this house, they all sleep. And they're like, I haven't slept this good in so long. And they get overtaken by a wave of peace. And everybody does that comes into this house. They all sleep. My girlfriend hadn't slept over 5 hours in almost 20 years. She slept 11 hours in the spare bedroom. And she woke up. She didn't know what day it was. She was like freaked out. She's like, that hasn't happened to me in over 20 years. I was like, wow. Then she came back the next weekend and she slept again 8 hours.
It's interesting because what I was picking up, she was healing her body. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like this, they walk into this healing vibration. They instantly want to shut down, go in their own internal bubble and just do their work. And obviously I have the support system here needed for that. And they just do it on their own. And they're like, I haven't felt this relaxed in so long. And I get that all the time. And then the kids, whenever they're feeling overwhelmed or overtaxed or they need hope, I come home and I find them in my house. I'm like, oh, they're here to heal. Yep.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Do your thing. I'm here to support you if you need it, but have fun. Whatever.
Wow. And that's such affirmation on the fact that, the vast majority of people don't get enough sleep. And I think it's one of the causes of why we see so many, ailments in the body.
Yeah, so it was so funny. I had a Marine who just got discharged, and he was staying here for a while till his mates got discharged because they were all going to get a house together. And he's like, I don't have anywhere to go until they come back. I'm like, you can stay here. So he was here for a little bit, and it was the same thing that happened to him. He went through a very healing process. And then when all the boys came back and they all got their house together and they moved in together after being here and going into that, he was like, I just don't know if I can do it. He's like, can I come back if I need to?
I love that. Safety. Safety. That is so interesting.
I'm like, it'll settle down. It'll be okay. He's like, I just don't know.
So as you were talking about that, I saw a program, Lighthouses, right? Do you know why most lighthouses are overpopulated with spirits?
They're drawn to the light.
They think it's the light.
That's what I just heard. They're drawn to the light.
They're drawn to the light.
I just heard that and I saw it in my eye. That's amazing. I literally saw that. Yeah. Wow. That makes sense, Wayne.
They got confused.
Yeah.
And many of the spirits that are in these lighthouses, they don't want to leave. And the reason why they don't want to leave is because they said it's safe.
Yes. You know what I just saw?
What's that?
People pray, Wayne. They emanate a lot of light. I wonder if they jump into the bodies in prayer. I literally just
don't know.
That. I saw that straight up.
But it goes to show.
They get confused and they see the light and they just want to go into that light because they know it's a safe place. Oh my goodness.
And isn't it odd that, we'll talk. We will talk on this more because it's amazing to think how many are, and as I get into this paranormal research, I'm beginning to sense that there are a lot of spirits that, because they were never properly prepared, when that moment of transition takes place, there's a moment of that confusion.
Yes.
And and that's why they're looking for what trapped them here. And I'm beginning to think, well, if you've got a flash of light and that person's passing at the moment on that other side, wow, can you imagine you're on a stream and all of a sudden you're drawn into over here and you wake up literally, not in the
In a
physical
lighthouse.
body. Yeah.
Yes.
And you're going, well, this isn't the same place.
No, right.
Yeah.
That'd be really confusing. And I wonder if that's why they're so confused. And I wonder if it's just a part of them, not the fullness of them. I wonder if it's a part, a fragment, a fractal. I wonder that too sometimes.
I don't know. So Eon, good to meet you. Kalpa says, I
Hey,
work with
Kalpa,
clocks
I love you, Sean. Much love, my friend.
and time. An old clock does know its age. Give me a second
He's a
here.
clock master.
And hence time is eternal and all changes in time. Your mind regulates your age and time. Well, we ought to have you on, Eon. Love to have you on. Is his name Sean?
Yes, Sean.
Sean, love to have you on. That's a conversation. You're invited to join us next week if you like. That's an interesting thing. It's a perception of time because I've told Lynn, I'm still that 21-year-old. I haven't changed. I've acquired more, but
I think I stuck at 16.
All right, I can dig that. I can really dig that.
I got my driver's license ready.
I love it. But you think about it, there has to be foundation to that, you know?
There is. I know there is. I'm even the 16 is my birth number. I'm going with that way.
I saw a guy that was 10 years younger than I am, who looked 10 years older than I do.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
I told Lynn, she said, what happened there? Because, I love lifting weights. I used to run, but I can't do that anymore.
No.
But she said, what happened? And I said, he wants to be old.
Yes.
He talks like he's already old.
I think that's what does it. I really do. If they believe that they're that age, then they will become it. If they believe they're older than that age, they will become it.
They will become it. Yes.
You will become it.
Yeah.
Yes, I do think that's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, well, Trina, the hour, I mean, we time travel here. Sean is a clock master.
You're serious. Are you really for real right now?
I'm very for real.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, okay, it's for real, man. Forever Young. Thank you, Jules. That's Rod Stewart.
Yes, Forever Young. I love that song. One of my all-time favorites. And I think it's the way to keep your soul.
It is. Yeah.
Happy and vibrating at a resonance of youthfulness. And that's a mindset too. You know?
I mean, Rod Stewart lives it. I mean, as he did in a recent interview, they said, he's approaching getting close to 80. And, and he just fathered a child, 5 years ago?
Yes.
75
or something. Yeah.
And that's what he said. He said, I don't see myself as what.
He doesn't.
No.
Yes, he doesn't. He totally doesn't. And I
love the dude's concerts, man. Lynn says it was a little loud, but that's because we were up dancing. I mean,
absolutely. Love Rod Stewart. Yes, wonderful.
Some of the fondest memories of my youth was, when Maggie May came out. And,
I love that song.
Wake up, Maggie. I got something to say to you. Yep. It's late September, and I really should be back in school. All right, everyone in the chat room, come on, sing along. You know it. Yes, we're all up there going, mm-hmm. And even if some of y'all who are a little younger, that's all right. You can join in too. You can just live vicariously through
Rod
us.
Stewart learned it. It's a good one. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Do you think I'm sexy?
Yeah.
So anyway.
If you want my body.
Oh, yeah. Yes, honey. Mm-hmm. The thing about it is I danced on the dance floor to that. You can get really sexy on that song dancing.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you really need me, just.
Yeah, you can really get the vibes going. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How much you let me know? Yeah,
folks, if you haven't danced, go, and that's what I do with Lynn. I'll just grab her and start dancing. Of course, she said I'm the walking jukebox because
You are. You know who else is too in this tribe? Brandy. Brandy's
Brandy?
another walking jukebox.
Brandy, there we go.
Brandy,
All
she's
right.
a fine girl. Yeah.
Brandy, you are a fine girl.
Yeah, Brandy.
And the sailors said, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be.
Yeah.
So there we go. William says the youth don't dance anymore in general. Where are the dance clubs? You know, isn't that true? Listening to Elvis,
They do
you know,
at those EDC concerts, those big festivals they do. But like
Do
I
they?
said, they're missing the beat because this is technology music. It's not real music. It's different.
By
And
the
that's
way, want to give shout out to Elvis Presley. He passed away, you know, August 16th, 1977. I was in St. Louis. I was in the construction industry. I was working on the First Baptist Church that we were putting up in Manchester, Missouri. And I remember Dan Melcher and I stepped out to have a cigarette, and it came over KC95 radio that they had found Elvis and that he was passed over.
yeah.
I remember. And, you know, that's to me is kind of when the day the music died, you know, when the king of rock and roll. Do you know what he died of? Constipation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. His body, he hadn't been able to have a bowel movement, and his body literally was absorbing the toxins. And
Yes.
that's when he died of a cardiac arrest on the toilet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. That's more confirmation. Take care of your bowels, people.
Oh man, you need to poop regularly. That's all I got to say.
Very important. Yeah, super important.
You know, you got to keep the plumbing going. That's all I got to say. So
it's very important.
Thank you, Brandon. You know, no, someone said, I thought you said that Elvis died today. Well, if he did, I mean, he's he was reincarnated. I didn't know about
there's all kinds of talk about that whole thing with, like, they said that he did just die recently, and he was a homeless man. They found him behind his mansion.
No, I've been to Graceland, and no. What a talent, though. Wow.
Yeah, you know, it's weird though. This guy matched his DNA.
Well, that's weird.
That's what I'm telling you. But you know, what about these clones and stuff? Who knows, Wayne?
Who knows? I mean,
who knows?
Elvis is still alive. I don't know. I saw him in concert in 1968 at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. So
he looks like my father. So I've always had a special place for that Elvis because he looks like my father.
I'll show you a picture of my dad, and he was a spitting image of Elvis at 25.
Seriously, my dad too. His war
spitting
pictures,
image, yeah.
He looked like Elvis Presley. I was like, wow.
Red Harry Media says no cheeseburgers for breakfast. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Right.
So all right, everybody. Thank you all. It's been a groovy time. Trina, it has been just a delight. Thank you, dear.
It's always so fun with you, Wayne.
It's
and Lucky, I love you too. And I'm super glad to be here with Wayne every Tuesday. So I'm going to get your email when I get off.
I tell you, I like what Lucky is doing. You know, his medicine for countering the negative wave that's out there is through positive affirmation.
He's doing such a good job. Yeah, thank you for putting that into our world.
Yeah,
so much gratitude. So much gratitude. Thank you.
I picture what Lucky's doing, and there's others, but I look at him as holding the nozzle that fills up all of our souls, that gives us that one brief moment of positivity that adds to the tank. You know,
he is a special soul. I've known that since the first time I saw him. I'm like, there's something very special about you, Lucky.
Yeah, we got, you know, many. So all of y'all are just groovy people. I'd love to be, you know, do my Sammy Davis Jr. imitation. All of you, you're beautiful. But anyway, Trina, got to go, hon. Stay with me. We love all of y'all. Thank you. Hey, Lauren, good to see you, darling.
Hi, Lauren.
Scotty boy, thank you, brother. Paul, Joe, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Trina, stay with me, dear.